let's talk about this, because a lot of people don't know this, right? When you want to be intentional about fat loss, right? So when you get on the elliptical, or you get on the treadmill, or you get on the bicycle, whatever, or you get on the Stairmaster, whatever your thing is, this is why having something that tracks your heart rate at least reasonably well, and I do use the handles on the machines that have it, is so important, because the magic number to start the equation, you want to write this down, is 220. Throw it in the chat GPT. What is my optimal heart rate for fat burn if you don't remember this formula? And it will ask you a couple of questions. Your age is really the only one. You take the 220, you subtract your age, and you multiply it times 70%. So at 59 years old, my optimum heart rate for fat burn is 113 beats per minute, right? So, and when I was 58, it was 114. So it goes down. And I used to run, when I first started running, I thought it was 130. I did this formula. I forgot to do it for 8 years, and I've been running in that 130. But what happens is when you get outside of that window of optimal fat burn, you start burning muscle. So you're countering all your hard work with the weights if you don't know what your fat burn number is. Is it an exact science? It's not. Am I at 113 the whole time I'm on the elliptical for 20 minutes most every day? It is not. I'm in that 109 to 116 zone, but that's the zone, that's the lane I'm trying to get in. And if you don't know what the lane is, you're just walking on the treadmill. You are playing a game of basketball without any nets at the end of the court. That is not the way to play. I'm trying to give you some nets for the end of the basketball court. I hope this is helpful, but you want to be intentional about fat burn. Very, very important to know. And I'm going to touch on a couple more things. Okay, and then talk to ChatGPT and figure out what your optimal macros is. For those of us that don't know the term macros, it's nothing more than protein, carbohydrates, and fats, and what the mix is. Now, the mix that's currently on the screen is not even the mix that I use anymore, quite frankly. But at the time I did this slide, I don't know, a year ago, 8 months ago, that was my optimal. Now, I've since evolved, and that's something that's very, very important that I point out. This is something that's going to evolve for you often. This is something that's as you lose a little bit of weight, as you get a different report from the doctor. I'm constantly talking to ChatGPT, who is my physical personal trainer. I'm also talking to ChatGPT, another version, another project that I have in there that is my cancer doctor. I'm also talking to my real doctor concierge, and I'll talk more about that, to figure out what the macros are. Macros and what your intake on macros is going to be based upon what your overall physical goals are. Your macros that you're shooting for, my macros that I'm shooting for, are going to be completely different based upon our difference in goals and objectives. So that's very, very important to know. And then I think my last slide here is talking about you being the quarterback. You can't have your head buried in the sand. You got to be the CEO of your own health, guys. You got to take action. But I don't have any more slides to do with this, but I do want to talk about my cancer. So I've shared a couple of times that I have a concierge doctor. So this is